Okay, we reviewed that 50-30-20 budget, and now we're going to look at some category percentages. Okay, so now we're going to look at a little bit more detailed version. You could figure out which things fit into which of the 50-30-20 categories, but now we're going to just separate that up a tad more. Okay, and so here's the website that I was referring to, Chime, and then there's the link right there. You'll have access to that to work on your assignment. And so now it's taking that and being a little more detailed. So here is what they are determining the basic recommended budget categories. And so it's split up into housing, charitable giving, which, donations to your church, donations to other um, foundations that provide help for people, savings and debt, we talked about that, insurance, so medical, auto, health, renters, and so on, entertainment, food, transportation, personal, which could be just like buying clothes and that kind of thing, and utilities. All right, so it's splitting it up in that fashion. And so now, if we're going to determine the dollar amounts for each category, watch this. How different is this than what we have done already? It's that net monthly income times the category percentage. But now we have more categories from which to choose. And so let's say that our net monthly income is $22.75, and we want to know what's our budget amount for housing. Okay, here's the formula that we're going to use. We're going to the list, and it says housing is 25%. And so now what do? Again, net monthly income, $22.75. Category percentage is 25%. There it is. This is the math that I'm going to do. So what do I get for my answer for the monthly amount for housing? Excellent. 568.75 just by multiplying those two together. Okay, now let's check out another category. Same monthly income, same formula. Now we want to know what's the budget amount for utilities. Okay, so you're going to find utilities in that list. We're going to use this formula. So what is the multiplication problem that we're going to use to get our answer? Excellent. It's that 22.75 again times 0.05 because there's utilities, 5%. And so what do we get for our monthly amount for utilities? Awesome. 113.75. We just do that multiplication. All right, let's do one more. Again, same monthly income, but now we're looking for the budget amount for savings and debt. So again, find that number in our list. Where's that percentage in our list? We're going to use that formula. So what will be our multiplication problem to solve this answer? Excellent. 22.75, the monthly income, times 0.15, which is the 15% for savings and debt. And so what do I get for that monthly amount for savings and debt? Great. 341.25. Perfect. Perfect. But now let's talk real quickly. I don't know how many of you have ever heard this term, frugal. What the heck does frugal mean? Okay. Prudently saving or sparing, not wasteful. And so here's an example. What your office needs is a frugal manager who can save you money without resorting to painful cutbacks. Or entailing little expense, a frugal meal, meaning we're wanting to spend as little as we can to get the things that we want or need. Okay? So we're not quite going to Mr. Krabs territory in terms of every penny, but we are being more selective. And as a result of that, we're going to have an adjustment in our list. So now we're going to be looking at an aggressive recommended budget category percentages. And we've got the same list, but we've got different numbers. So now let's compare those side by side so we can look at them. Housing. I'm going to spend a little bit less if I'm being aggressive than I would if I'm being basic. Same with charitable giving. Look at this big disparity. Here it's 40% of it is going for savings and debt. Here it's only 15. And you'll notice that the rest of these are pretty comparable, and in fact the last two are exactly the same. So the big change is right here in this category, the savings and debt category. Okay? And so now let's look at how do we determine those answers using this, list of percentages. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to use exactly the same formula. Exactly the same formula. Okay, net monthly income times the category percentage. So there's my net monthly income again, $22.75. So now, how much am I going to spend for housing with this list? All right, so take a moment, look at it, think about the formula. What will be our multiplication problem to get the answer to this question? Perfect, 2275 times 20 because it's 20% for the housing. And so what do we get for our answer for the monthly amount for housing? Great job, $455. All right, let's do another one. Okay, same monthly income, but now we're looking at how much should we spend for utilities. Again, find utilities in the list. We're using this formula again. What will be our multiplication problem to get this answer? Awesome, 2275 times 0.05 because there's utilities, 5%. And so what do we get for our amount for utilities for the month? Awesome job, 113.75. All right, let's do one more. Okay, we got the 2275 again for the monthly income. And again, we want to find out how much we're going to set aside for savings and debt. So find that number in the list. Again, using the same formula, what will be our multiplication problem to solve this answer? Great, 2275 times 0.40 because there it is, 40%. So what will be our monthly amount for savings and debt? Awesome job, $910. Beautifully done. So now let's make a side-by-side comparison with the numbers that we just got for each of those three categories. For housing, if I'm being aggressive, I'm only going to set aside $455 per month. Where if I'm going basic, I'm willing to spend a little bit more on housing. Okay? Utilities, what did we discover? It's exactly the same amount. There was no change in that percentage for utilities, whether we were going aggressive or basic. Now here was the big one, right? Savings and debt. If I'm being aggressive, I'm putting aside $910 per month to set aside for savings and to set aside to pay off my debts. Where here, I'm only doing $341.25. Okay? So is there a right or wrong? No, not really. You're just making decisions about how you're going to spend your money, what's going to be important, what you want to be able to do with your money. That's the goal, is you're making that call. Okay? So way to go. Nice job as you went through and did these problems. Good work by you. And so again, our focus is going to be using these lists for aggressive and basic, and then utilizing the formula to determine those monthly amounts for each. And so now we're going to get things rolling. We're going to work on the 15 more detailed budget assignment. Again, I expect the great work that I know that you guys can do.